Hey, y'all. It's the Kings. We are drinking our tea before bed, and I am cozied up in my new robe that we'll talk about.
Yeah. Her Al Borland robe.
And what?
Yeah.
Who?
Al Borland.
Who's that?
Really?
No, really, I don't know.
Really?
No, I really don't know.
I can't believe this is happening live on camera.
Okay.
Al Borland is Tim the Toolman Taylor's sidekick.
Oh, he has a robe?
No.
Is
He's
it
just made in flannel.
Oh, okay.
Always flannel.
Okay.
Like, 4 of my flannels are because Al Borland wore them on Tool Time.
Listen, it's incredible. I've never owned a nice robe, and this is like... Anyway, today...
No. We're not leaving the Al Borland discussion.
Oh, yes, we are. Today, we will be talking about the myth of being busy. Literally, I have written down a million subjects that we could discuss, and tonight...
Like in a notebook.
Yes, and
like,
tonight...
So when I say, let's do a blogcast, she goes, let's look at the list. And I'm like, oh.
So he closed his eyes and picked, and ding, 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 we had a winner.
Yep.
Busy.
Closed her eyes and point, and then took a shower, and then we came back.
Busy, the myth. Thank you for the play-by-play. Would you like to discuss anything else you did?
Well, if you really want to poke me.
No.
That's what I thought.
I don't.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so I, as you may have heard in another blogcast. Now I'm doing blogcast. That's going to work.
Oh,
That's going to stick.
I love it.
We have a workout calendar. I say we, it's me now, but it started as a we.
It's called the call-out calendar.
And every year I make it, and I steal memes, literally steal them, off of Pinterest, and I create this calendar and order it from Walgreens and make it. Well, one of this year's memes was, being busy is a myth. People make time for what matters to them. And it was a whole month. What happened, I either put 1 to 3 memes on 1 month.
Right.
And every month, that's kind of like our theme for the month, right?
Absolutely,
and we see it, even if you don't use it as a workout calendar.
Oh, no, we see it.
You see it every single day.
Absolutely.
And it's
part of the decor.
Yes, and it's just kind of a reminder of, okay, whether it's about busyness, it can be about anything, really.
Yeah, no, it's everything.
It's everything.
Like, busyness is irrelevant. We've just chosen that tonight. Like, the calendar is about everything.
Right. So, anyway, we hate that word. We
Busy?
hate that word.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know if it's always...
Hate is not the right word. We hate hate.
Strongly dislike that word.
Right. I despise it.
Yes.
Yes.
It is the worst.
I bite my thumb at it.
Great. Okay.
Did you get
because it's a cop-out word.
Oh, absolutely.
More often than not.
Yes. It's a cop-out word, or it is a... So, I went to a all-boys military Catholic high school. It's not as scary as it sounds. It was actually fascinating. But the colonel at the time, when I was there, in my senior year, he each level, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, they each had their own administrative teacher basically in charge. And that person had been in the military for X amount of years, and they had then retired and come over to the JROTC program. And so they had different levels, but Colonel Owens, or God rest his soul, was the senior leader of everything, and he emphasized crutch words. He emphasized them to a point to where, to this day, how old am I? 13 years later, crutch words in a business meeting where I'm trying to sell someone something else. I'm annoyed with the person I'm trying to sell because they keep using the same crutch words. And so it's
which we say. I say anyway a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
If anyone's noticed.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the way it is. I say And so that's why you have to go, And so if you make fun of yourself, then you recognize it more, and then you can remove that crutch word. A lot of people I have noticed absolutely use busy as a crutch word. And a crutch word can be you get nervous, I'm busy. Okay. okay.
Or you don't want to cope with something. I'm just
Absolutely.
busy.
Right. Or you get overwhelmed. So it's the same thing as you don't want to cope with it. You get overwhelmed. That's your initial reaction.
Or it's a badge of honor. Like,
absolutely.
I can't handle that because
that's just too much. I'm busy. You don't understand how busy I am.
You don't understand.
Right. And for the record, no one will understand. I will never understand Kira. Kira will never understand me and my positions and whatever. We can relate, we can listen, we can do all those things, but we cannot be the same person. We cannot have the same thoughts. We cannot have the same day. We can be as close as any two humans can be, but you will never be the same. So therefore, God kind of made us different. That plays into this. So busy is just one of those words that we've created to... We had no create. You know what I mean? Like that we use to get us past what we don't want to do.
Yeah, we made it into this.
It is a glorified word that has become this like pedestal that just, if I could just be that busy, or just keep up with this over here, or if I could just keep up with all the things. I don't know how they keep up with that because they're just so busy. Or you could just say, thank you for the opportunity to have this much to do.
That's true. And I think busy, especially in like a workforce, it equates work.
Oh, absolutely. That's my crush word. I knew there was another one.
That's not always true. You can be busy and not productive.
Absolutely. Busy and productive are like polar opposites depending on who you are.
And of course you have your work where by hour, an hour equals this amount of work. Where, in all of my work, I like to work smarter, not harder.
Right. Kira's margins are scary.
What do you mean?
Your margins are scary.
What kind of margins? The
margins in your business. How quickly you can produce things comparatively to the time. So if you set yourself an hourly rate, and then you say, okay, well, this is how much it costs me to do this. This is how long it takes.
Yes, I like to be very efficient.
Absolutely. So efficiency create margins is my point.
Right, because I'd rather be doing other things than actually what I have to do. I'd rather be fermenting or, some of those fun things, cleaning.
Why else do we all work other than to create the life we want?
Right. But the other people, like if you're a line worker or if you're in full-blown agriculture or if you're a nurse or a doctor, we have a doctor friend, and he is very busy. It's not a myth.
No.
When it comes to...
No, gracious me.
He is pedal to the metal.
That boy puts in more hours
busy.
and brain power than I could even, fathom.
Yeah, so that's not the type of busy we're talking about. That is very real.
Right.
That is not a myth.
No.
And power to you people. We appreciate you and your hard work.
And God bless you, our friend who is... a doctor who is very busy.
Who will never listen to this because he has not the time.
Right, exactly. But love you to death, buddy.
But it's more of the using it as an excuse.
A crutch.
Yes. And when people look at us and the farm, and we both have jobs, even though I work from home, and we have a baby, a toddler, and we have animals.
Which, by the way, toddlers require more than babies. Babies are more hands-on and intensive care and right there all the time. But when you get to the toddler stage, to where we had trees cut down this week, and they're just sick trees that one pierced my shed. It was very sad. So it was time to have them removed. Well, that requires equipment. That equipment destroyed our backyard. We don't have pigs. I would love to have pigs.
It looks like
but we don't have pigs. Yet we have a pigsty in the backyard.
It's bad.
And a puppy on the way. And
the puppy's coming in 2 days.
In 2 days. And I'm very excited about that puppy.
We have a mud hole.
Right.
It looks but our backyard is a truck and did wheelies or donuts.
Actually, funny story, 2 trucks did wheelies and made mud holes in our backyard. That's literally what happened.
And then they're little, and they didn't mean to. Our yard was very wet. It was
no. It was right, absolutely.
But it's destroyed.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. And just the cherry on top, our puppy is white.
She's tan. She's tan. She's like German Shepherd colors. with a Great Pyrenees body. She's going to be so cute. I'm so excited.
Our puppy is not black and tan like our cattle dog.
No. She's tan with black.
Right. On the face.
Yeah, she's gonna be black.
The only black outside. Is like eyes to snout.
She's so cute.
She's adorable, absolutely.
Pearl.
This is going to be
Pearl's
great.
Coming.
But she's going to be the color of our cattle dog because we have a pigsty in the backyard.
So what was your point about what toddlers are busy?
Right. So
busy.
with a baby.
Speaking of the word busy.
Yes, thank you. So if you have a 6-month-old and that happens, that it's just terrible, and you're just like, okay, whatever, we'll deal with that. Okay, we have a toddler. She's 2.5 years old. She looks outside and says, "Oh, tree people make yard dirty. I gonna put on boots and play in the puddles." Wait, no, ma'am. No, we do not. It doesn't matter. We still have to feed the chickens and the ducks and the geese and the guinea and the Batman.
I let her go, but she has to be in her boots, not in socks like she was earlier this evening.
Right, she has to be in boots. It is a rule, except for this one time when Dad had to drop a hay bale, and he turns around and she is standing at the gate, shaking the gate, going, "Dad, you all done?"
She trucked through all that mud in her socks,
and she had taken her boots off.
Yeah.
Because that's what toddlers do.
When she brought her toy lawnmower with the mud in the treads all through the house. And I said, "Is that your lawnmower?" Because I was doing the laundry. And she goes, "No." And she starts hauling ass out of the house with her little lawnmower.
Right, but that's my point. She has to be outside in her boots, except for when she doesn't.
Right,
because
yeah.
she's a toddler.
I find the toddlerhood much more forgiving in terms of allowing me to be productive.
Oh, absolutely. We can be more productive because, listen, I asked her over the weekend. I went to my mom's house to fix her fence, and she has a chain link fence. She's getting one of the puppies. We may or may not have forced a puppy upon her, but she's very excited about it. I went to fix her chain link fence, and I needed a crowbar. Well, I have a bucket that I travel with my tools. It makes it easier, and I am with a grubbing hoe and a sledgehammer. No, not a sledgehammer. A grubbing hoe and doesn't matter, screwdriver. Trying to leverage something. And my 2.5-year-old is standing there looking at me going, "Did you fix it?" I said, "No, baby, not yet." "Baby, can you run to the back of Vava's house and grab my crowbar out of the bucket?" She goes, "Yes." And she turns around, and Vava, for the record, goes, "This should be interesting." I mean, within 30 seconds, Tiny comes back with my crowbar because she's the best. And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I put it in the spot, and I popped everything in place, and I fixed the fence. And that's amazing. And she's very helpful, and she wants to be right there with you. That translates immediately to she also feeds the birds and feeds the horses. There's no way around it. So when the yard gets trashed, she gets,
Are you bringing this around to being busy, or is this just a fun story?
This is a fun story, but it comes back to, we could be very busy. We could be, the toddler is outside, and she's in the mud, and she's all over this place, and she's destroying all this stuff, and she brought her boots, she brought her lawnmower, who has wheels, into the house where we have rugs and dogs
and white couches
because that's a good idea, and this brand new bedspread that's just gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, y'all.
Nope. That is just gorgeous and is tan and white.
Okay,
Mom loves more than anything else in the world.
Okay, fake news, but don't even be knocking on the bedspread. Y'all, I found Vermont Country Store. And
nobody's knocking on it. I'm just saying we added to the light-colored items in our home.
Okay,
that's not good.
Well, hold on. Side note. I found Vermont Country Store recently, and they have the coolest things that are like old world, like...
Would you say it's the new Goodwill.com?
No, I surely would not. but it's pretty damn cool. I like it. So, anyhow, I bought myself a fabulous new winter robe that's flannel. And they do not sponsor us.
Al Borland.
Shut up.
No, I love it. I told you that before we got on here. I love it, but Al Borland is still the best. I do need to find us some sponsors. No, we don't. We don't need sponsors.
It'd be fun. Anyway, it'd be fun. Like, I could try out products like robes and be like, "Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm drinking."
You just want another robe.
It's so comfy. It's so comfy, and it's so wintry, and it's plaid. Anyway, and then
I'm going through.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll just stop talking. You're right. I'll let you.
No, please don't stop talking, but just hold on. No.
Yes.
You have to understand that this is not just a bedspread. This is Abigail Adams.
That's so true.
Quilt from France. Okay? That's
record,
the pattern.
Abigail,
made by Bates, which is an American-made company from like the 1800s that somebody has continued to run even when they had to close. It is the most beautiful thing I have ever slept in. Ever. It is so well made, and it is so thick and beautiful, and yes, it was a little bit more expensive than I would typically spend, but like literally when I was reading reviews, like this is an heirloom that can last like 60 years. 60 years! And because the company's been around so long, that's like, people know that. Like, that's how that works. And they're hand loomed and woven. And anyhow, it's a side note, but it's amazing. You have to go look at these absolutely gorgeous patterns, because there's like Martha Washington patterns, and it's just, you need to look at me so I can give you the cue that it's your turn to bring back Busy, because I'm getting really caught up in how beautiful these bedspreads are.
Well, why would I look at you, wait for the cue, and you're just going to say the cue?
Okay, go ahead. It's your turn.
Oh, excellent.
Back to Busy. Okay.
So the whole Busy thing that I was trying to bring back around is that this week could have been very busy.
Yes, we could have gotten bogged down in the.
Here's my cue.
We could have gotten bogged down in the. Life's very busy. I didn't get to eat lunch yesterday while the tree guys were here until 2. She didn't get to nap until it was a thing. It could have been very busy.
We could have gotten bogged down in life with all the things, but instead, you just kind of look at it and go, "Oh, it sucks." And listen, it's not a good situation.
In the backyard?
The backyard is bad.
Yeah.
And the house is already dirtier. And, oh, by the way, we may or may not be hosting a birthday party on Saturday.
That's true.
But what are we going to do? Are we really going to complain to each other for the next 3 days about how terrible it was? And so there's all sorts of stereotypes and things that happen. But, let's stick to a regular stereotype. Husband goes to work. Husband comes home after a long day of work. Husband just wants to drink a beer / sit down and relax. Okay? So that's just what he wants to do. And the wife could complain about what happened at her day. He could complain about what happened at his day, or vice versa if the father stays home and the mother goes to work. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. What happens here is these things are happening. I mean, I could read you all the text messages. I was in tears. Because it was, truck got stuck. I said, uh-oh. She said, second truck got stuck. I said, uh-oh. That's never good. Yep. Yard's ruined. That was it. That was the text message. Because what are we going to do? There's nothing we could have done to fix this, stop this, hesitate this. So, it's just an unfortunate situation that we now have to deal with. And thankfully on Homestead, for no reason at all, we have a tractor, other than we need a tractor to save my back. So we can use that to help fix everything. I'm just thankful that we have the ability and thought process to fix the horrible situation that could be, the toddler playing in the mud for 4 days. So it could have been a super busy couple of days, but it's really just more of a okay, let's put the back porch back together because the tree people, they had to move everything to get the trees out. And let's go ahead and do as much as we can on the mulch that they left on the stumps they grounded and spread that out over the mud. And, oh, by the way, like I was telling the story about going to Vava's house and letting the little one help me get the crowbar. Tiny has her own shovel. Tiny literally spent an hour and a half today moving mulch onto the muddy spots because that's what we that's what we were doing. That's what Mom was doing.
She gets excited now and says, "I work," and I'm not a slave driver. I'm not making her work.
Let's work.
But I'm working, and she's going to work alongside me by choice, and of course I'm going to encourage that.
Why wouldn't you?
So we've talked about busy as a coping, either as a coping cop-out. As a
mechanism. It's a coping mechanism. Just you can immediately say, oh, I'm busy, I can't.
It creates anxiety or it allows you an escape.
Yep.
But what about busy as a badge of honor?
Oh, well, that is more than anything just to prove to everyone else how much you do.
Why would you do that? I mean, literally, like, think about, because I don't get it.
So, there's different, I find it to be a fascinating concept, truly. So, there's different reactions to everything. Everybody's different, like we were saying earlier. I mean, mom and dad here are different. Of course we're different. Like, literally, one's a girl, one's a boy. Like, there's different. Like, we're different. We have different brains. We have different thought processes. So, to use busy as a cop-out or any of that kind of stuff is more of a, you're, like, proving yourself to everyone else. So there's different personalities, kind of lend themselves to, you like to have outside influence, outside approval is, kind of a motivating factor. And so that always just leads me back to the why. Why do you do this?
Why do you care?
Why do you care? But the why do you care is why do you do this?
Yeah.
So, like, I get up in the morning. I get up almost every day at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And why do I do that? I do that because I genuinely just want to go outside.
Are you sure it's not so you can tell people on a podcast so they think you're cool?
Well, I mean, it is now. But if we're being honest, if it wasn't you and me, I wouldn't tell anyone. If it wasn't our podcast, they'd have no idea, right? But I like to get up early. Mm-hmm. Like, the freaking Braves are in the playoffs. They're in the World Series right now. Okay? And so, yeah, the games are over at like 12:30. Okay? Congratulations. I'm 31 years old. Why would you complain about that? Well, because I get up at 5 a.m. every day. I mean, so I'm a little bit sleepy. Other than that, this is fun. But I get up because I could sleep in more, but I choose to get up because we have birds, we have horses, we have a donkey that I want to see early in the morning. I like to watch the sun come up. That is a calming, resetting. I don't do yoga. I don't do all that stuff. That's all like...
That's your version of meditation.
Absolutely. That is my version of meditation. Thank you. Because that's what I enjoy. That's what I prefer.
So that brings up a good point that, like,
I'm really busy in the mornings. Don't call me.
Not just a badge of honor and why do you care? Why does it matter? Why do people need to know that you're busy?
Right.
Because everybody's got their own stuff. Everybody's got their own list. And my busy is not your busy. Oh my gosh, yesterday I talked to the tree guys 50 times. And I was like, holy smokes. I'm so tired of talking to people. And you have like probably 100 calls a day. And your busy and my busy are different. If we're going to label busy.
And on a regular average day, absolutely. Yes.
Right. But then busy's also a choice.
Yes.
So busy doesn't equate productivity.
No.
And it's also a choice. So, I mean, I don't have older children yet, but I know for a fact, and listen, if we're still doing a podcast in 5 years, you come to me and
remind me of this.
Either remind me or call me out on it. Or say, oh, yep, she listened to herself. As much as I want my child to experience sports, like my mother allowed me to do, and my stepfather allowed me to do everything.
Yeah.
My mom and dad. And, I mean, I tried everything. And finally in high school, she put her foot down and was like, listen, you got to take a season off. You can't do all these sports. You have to break. And I was so upset. Like, why can I do all this? Like, what do you mean? She's not going to be allowed to do all of that. And she's going to be allowed to have...
Well, here's the thing.
She's going to be allowed to do sports. But I am not taking my 5-year-old to Atlanta for soccer games. Like...
But like, stop right there. You said she will not be allowed to do all that. I'm not taking my 5-year-old to Atlanta.
No, it's freaking insane.
Right.
Like, there are travel teams for 5-year-olds now.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to a tiny mom. You can't do that because I won't do that. I'm not going to drive you there. a tiny mom would find someone else to take her. Because how did you used to do your travel soccer?
We would all carpool.
Right.
And we would all get in on a hotel. I'm not trying to be selfish.
No. I'm not saying you're selfish. I'm saying that...
And I look at my mother and say, why did you do that?
No. I'm saying that because this child is half you, she will find a way to do what she wants to do either way.
That could be true, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is I feel like there's this rat race, and it started when we were growing up.
I see. Yes.
There's this rat race of your kid has to do everything, and you have to be everywhere, and you have to... There's games here and tournaments here, and starting at a very young age, football, baseball, soccer. I mean, these kids are like doing weight classes. I don't know if they are for real, but I mean, I know that they're doing a much more rigorous regiment than we ever were at their age for sport.
No kidding. I mean, gracious me.
And you know what? I want to have family dinner. We have to feed our farm. Like, family dinner is an integral part of a family unit. It's where our children will learn about adult conversation and when it's appropriate to butt in and learn about how was your day and what did you learn today. And it's a very important part of a family. And I feel like when you're constantly running all over the place, whether it be to sports, whether it be to school functions or
personal functions or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, just
you lose that quality of just still.
Right. I would recommend. I agree with you 100%. I mean, we've talked about this a million times. The only kind of example I would give is so in college I worked at a restaurant, and our busiest nights we were open till 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. So, by the time you're done with everything, you're not leaving till 5 or 5:30. That was Friday and Saturday night. We close at 4 a.m. And so I'm home at 5:30 or 6. I mean, depending on how busy it is. But on Sundays, we were done at midnight, and, hopefully you get home by 2. That was, that was a good night, is to get home by 2 a.m. So I did that for 3 years. And then when we moved back to Savannah, we started working off our board as much as possible because,
at the barn.
At the barn, right, absolutely. So you either pay cash or you work. Okay, well,
a lot if you're lucky. And
if you're lucky, absolutely. And so, we didn't care. We just need to work it off. Like, we didn't have the money.
We didn't want to afford it. There was money that needed to go elsewhere.
Right, we couldn't afford it if we wanted to continue to live our lives in the way we wanted to do. Right. So we said, give us whatever shifts you want. Okay, well, guess what? Number one shift they didn't want? Sunday morning and Sunday night. Because who wants to work on Sunday? I mean, that's just the way it is. So we'd always be there 6 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
Whether it was Christmas.
Doesn't matter. Christmas Day. I mean,
it didn't matter.
We also picked up Thanksgivings. We picked up Easters. I mean, just because nobody else wanted to do them. So, and if it hit our number, then absolutely we'll do it. What do we care? So this was all obviously pre-child. But we did all that, and then at some point, I'll never forget when Kira said, what we put the horses in the backyard, and she said, okay, and we're renovating the house, and we're trying to get everything ready so that we can live here and function and everything. And she was like, so what would you like to do? I'd like to take a Sunday afternoon off. Truly. I mean, it had been 7 years since I could take a Sunday afternoon off. And that basically kind of is like a good reminder to, take a day. Pick a day. Once a week. And just be with your family.
Right. So if just sports take fall on other days or other functions.
Right. It could be a Tuesday. It could be a Wednesday.
At least
whatever.
Pick time to just be.
Be. And you don't have to push.
Busy, and don't choose every single event that maybe you need a photo op of, which I don't get either, but
that's a whole nother podcast.
I don't even know if we could go there.
We're going to manufacture memories.
Might actually offend people we know that way. But
I think we're past that.
That's true. Hopefully they're not listening.
Love you.
But anyhow, so we've been through all the different types of busy, and it really comes down to busy.
That's a great way to say it. All the different kinds of busy.
It is. And
there's multiple kinds. How are there multiple kinds? Because we make it up.
No. Listen to the podcast and you'll see. He never listens to these again. I listen to them.
No, gracious me. I can't listen to myself talk. I want to punch myself.
I have to edit them, so I listen to them like 10 times more. And I end up not editing them anyway. But anyhow.
Thanks, Mom.
I add pretty music to them.
You're the best.
Beginning and end. But what do you think? What do you think about being busy? Like, we want to hear. Email us.
Oh, please. We would love to hear.
Tell us we're idiots. Tell us you agree. Whatever you think. Like, we want to hear because we do have a toddler and we do have I'm going to call it a hobby farm. And we do have full-time jobs. And I feel like, I'm not trying to say, look at us, look at what we have. I'm saying, I think we could very easily mentally get bogged down by busyness. Yep. And there are people who look at us and go, how do you do all of that? How are you so busy? And we don't go to a lot of outside events, but I don't think it's because we deem ourselves busy. It's because we deem ourselves a little antisocial sometimes.
Right. There's antisocial, and then there's also, we have, like, schedule's the wrong word, but we have things. We have, you and I would much rather be on the farm. Right, but like
doing productive things rather than going to a fall festival downtown. Like
100%. But
a million times
what would
over.
you call that? Like obligations. We have obligations. And so we have obligations that every morning we need to feed all our animals. Yes, and every afternoon we need to feed all our animals. Right. And our tiny needs to take a nap at this time. Right. And so that's part of the
ballpark,
right? But that's still like if you don't let her take a nap, then woofa.
Watch out.
Right. And so at the same time, we do all those things, and then at some point, we also still need to sit down and just be us.
Yeah, like read my book.
I've been with my wife since we were 15 years old. 14 years old.
You were 13.
I was 13. Mm-hmm. Rawr. Cougar. So my point to that is, we actually really like each other. Mm-hmm. Like, and trust me, there's times where we go 2 weeks to where we don't get our time, or a month, or whatever, depending on work and whatever. A month would be bad.
That's never happened.
But that's never been a full month.
No,
but at some point, one of us will go, okay, we need to focus. Like, so we need to just be together. And so we will go be together for an hour. Like, we will not go do something.
Be together.
Oh, gracious me. Seriously, get your mind out of the gutter. What's wrong with you?
Well, I mean, if you were listening to this, you'd be like, oh, or if what? I don't even know our code name for that friend.
For the record,
if that friend was listening, that's what he would say.
We have like 3 friends that would say that. For the record, that is normally a thing that I would say. And she would go, why would you say that? I have to edit that out. But now she doesn't
I haven't edited anything out.
Right, which is scary. So, but she would rather make the comment herself, and I love you for that. Because I was thinking it as I was saying it.
I mean, you set it up.
I did. I put it out there. I was hoping you would just drive it home.
But okay. We mean, what he means is just good quality time.
Yes.
As a couple.
100%.
Without her.
Yes. There's couple time.
We might not go on date nights to restaurants because we don't go to restaurants because their food, we don't like any of the food.
No, we're better.
Yeah, his food is better.
Except for peasant.
But we find our moment. You find your moments where you can.
Acknowledge peasant.
And not just... royal peasant in Athens, Georgia. Y'all. I know of at least 2 people who have listened to this who will, give me a 5-star review just for talking about it.
Peasant. The peasant.
It's a classic.
Ugh.
It's a classic. Anyway, we have that time together that's important to regroup, talk about life goals.
That could be 3 hours while Tiny takes a nap. That could be 30 minutes for her and I to just go outside and sit together.
It could be now a podcast before bedtime. Or during lunch, or whenever we can fit these in. What?
What?
What was that?
What was what?
Stop.
The shotgun of my idea?
Please. Please. Do we have to wrap this up now?
No.
Shotgun idea. I don't even know what that means.
Listen, I'm just saying, take a time, take a breath, hold each other's hands, chill for a minute. Just enjoy your life.
Because
no matter how busy or chaotic it is, just enjoy each other.
Yeah, or yourself, or
right,
your
whatever
family.
it takes. Absolutely.
Like, I have my own time, you have your own time. We have our time together, we have our time with her. It's important to not be busy.
Yes.
It's important to sometimes I'll be working and I'm on my phone, and I work on my phone more often than not. And I'm working, and she wants to do something. And if I recognize the fact that she's noticing me on this phone and I'm not paying attention, and I'm quote unquote busy with work, too busy to listen to her tell me something or play with her. And I'm not a big, like, entertain your own child, but if she's coming to me with a book and wants me to read it, I'll be damned if I don't drop my phone and whatever I'm doing to read her that book in that moment. Because she might not remember that in 5 years, but I will.
Right.
And if that happens 100 times, she will remember it.
Right. Or if that happens 5 times.
Right.
Excuse me. But 5 times. I mean, at some point that will click and she will understand. Even if, when they're 10, they don't remember. When they're 2, they see a pattern and they react to it.
Right, and then she's going to stop asking me.
Absolutely.
If she came to me every time and I was too busy for her, and yes, there are times when she comes to me and I'm like, listen, give me 5 minutes. I need to finish this or whatever. Not just work. Like if I'm doing something in the kitchen or something in the garden, and she does, and she's patient about that. But that can never be a thing. I don't want it to be a thing, and it's important.
Very
also
important.
Busy is not a badge of honor. If you are truly busy, like what we said in the beginning, Godspeed, because truly busy can be absolutely exhausting. And I hope your anxiety and everything is in check and in balance, because being too busy it's not a badge of honor. It can be a problem.
Oh, a huge problem.
And being busy and time managing well, that's different.
It's different.
That's different. Feeling in control of your time, that's very different from being busy and watching it just fly all over the place. Fly away. Watching your time fly away.
Fly away is a great way to say it.
So if you can work smarter, not harder, do it. Why not do it?
I mean, and schedule your time.
Right.
So, I get up early to schedule my time to give myself that 30, 45 minutes to an hour.
Because you need it.
I need it.
Yeah, if you don't, you feel flustered.
And I feel like the days run and the day is running too fast and I'm trying to keep up. No, I need my time to just and just breathe and just chill for a second. And so that in the morning, first thing, that's where I am. I like to do it in the morning. I like to exercise a little bit, move around, and then start my day.
Well, and it's not just that. I mean, there's days where there is going to be a lot going on, but it's also, as we've said before and we'll say again, it's how you look at it. It's your mindset.
It's an absolute mindset. I mean, you could have the same... That's why routines, those little things are helpful, because
habits and routines are very helpful.
Yes, absolutely. So, a habit and a routine will make you better at adjusting to the unknown. Mm-hmm. As weird as that sounds. Mm-hmm. Because you can then adjust and react and do what you got to do and then come back and then be back in your thing.
You instinctually find comfort in habits.
Oh, absolutely.
So, the fact that you feed in the mornings, and right now, especially when it's getting dark earlier, I feed in the afternoons and she feeds with whoever she's with. That, if I miss that, the rest of my evening's kind of thrown. And then I get that flustered. That staple of every single day. And some people might see that and think, oh gosh, they're tied down by that. That would be awful. It's quite the opposite. Instinctually, I think the human being craves habits and routines.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to have some level, obviously, of flexibility. But then you have those staples that you can fall back on and feel secure and in control of. And that helps you deal and cope with the unknown of other things, or an actual day full of all the things.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure we've covered everything that we would talk about this.
Hopefully.
I don't I do not see the word busy as a badge of honor. I feel bad for people who are truly busy. And not bad, but like, especially if you've chosen it and you're a doctor. I mean, come on. Like, I don't feel bad for you.
No, I don't feel bad for you at all, but I'm just saying.
But I hope you can find that moment of peace.
If every day you're just so busy you can't do this, then this is not important.
Yeah, you make time for what's important.
Absolutely.
And if you're too busy to slow down and spend time with your family or yourself or God or
right,
your
whatever
garden,
it is that
or,
keeps you level.
You know, anything that fulfills you,
right.
then why are you doing it? It's
right.
not worth it. And if you say, I have to be so busy to make money, okay, well then look elsewhere because
right. Budget.
No, I told
Spend
someone
less.
today. I told someone today that I was talking to about life. Who is in charge of you saying you are defined by this?
Oh, that's a great point.
This is what you're defined by.
That's a great point.
Nobody. Nobody's telling me that I have to be a PR person solely and I can't do other things. Like, if I was so busy doing PR and I just couldn't do anything else that made me fulfilled and at peace, well, then that's not. I need to move away from that in some way. PR is probably not a great example. I'm sure there are PR people who are so busy, but I am not one of them with PR.
No, but I see what you're saying. It's if that's your 100% income and it's just running you to the point to where you just can't do anything else. Okay, then like
there are other jobs.
There are other jobs,
and it might not be easy. No one's saying it's easy to move jobs.
No, and we're also not saying that sometimes your job might not be fun, and you might have to work too many hours for too little pay for too long.
Mm-hmm.
But give yourself a goal. Give yourself a timeline. Give yourself a plan to save this much or do this much and get to a point to where you can maybe, if you save for the next year, maybe you get to start taking Saturdays off. Maybe you get to start taking Fridays off. Yeah. Maybe get to start doing things like that. Absolutely. Right.
Or even if you are so busy, and it's not just with job. I mean, it can be...
Oh, right. Personal, everything. Right. I mean, you might have, 4 different elderly people that you need to take care of. And so you've got to run around town while you're also trying to take care of children. And I mean, that's a whole nother level of stuff. But maybe sometimes you just need to ask for help. Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
I mean, sometimes you just ask for help.
Or, get a planner by the hour.
Right.
And literally schedule out your time. And schedule in 15 minutes for whatever you need to meditate or for prayer, for reading, for just sitting there doing nothing. Schedule it in so it is part of your day and part of your busy, but that it actually allows you to stop.
Breathe.
And slow down.
And chill.
And relax. And
have a kale salad.
Enjoy your life. Because why are we here?
Right. Why are we here other than to have some fun?
Well, there's lots of reasons. If you read the Bible, there's a lot of reasons why we're here. But I like to think that
we're here to have fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
While doing the other things that we're called to do.
Listen, I'm not saying have fun and be a butthole. I'm just saying have some fun.
An unproductive.
Right. Have some fun while you're doing all the other things.
Absolutely.
Don't be a butthole.
Right.
That's my t-shirt. Hold on, let me put on my pants. And don't be a butthole.
I don't even remember what that stems from. I'm not going to ask.
You remember.
I don't.
You
but
do.
I will not be making you that t-shirt to sell.
Ah.
But if you make it, and I will publish it. I will put it on the blog. Anyhow.
You're so
Thank
giving.
y'all. And I'm so thoughtful. Thank y'all for listening.
You're the best.
I hope this helped in any way, shape, or form. And like we said, listen, there's going to be some people who listen to this and they think, gosh, y'all are dumb. And we might be. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, I can't tell you that we're brilliant, but I can tell you that we have a lot of fun and we love life. And there's really, that's all I got to say.
And we're at peace.
Yeah, very much
We're at peace.
so.
Even when horrible things happen, somehow we find peace.
Yeah, there's pigsty in the backyard. I mean, at some point, you just got to roll around in there with whatever.
Whatever.
I mean, whatever.
All right. Y'all take care. We'll talk to you later. Bye.